Alright guys, welcome back. After that short break, we are moving down to the lower bracket of our European playoffs here. It's going to be Singularity Ninjas facing off against Vivi's Adventure, and we're going to be on Route 66, Sideshow.
There's an interesting beginning to this series. Both of these teams have been putting in reasonably good performances, I think. There's a large level of competition in this tournament for sure. The PIT Championships both in Europe and North America have been excellent in terms of the level of competition that they've been able to generate. And in Europe, it's particularly special just because we haven't seen these teams for so long, and we haven't had a prize pool this big for so long in Europe. Vivi's Adventure, a team that are very much coming up seemingly out of nowhere, certainly more out of nowhere than Team Singularity Ninjas, and they won the open qualifier to get into this tournament. Unfortunately got knocked down to the lower bracket, as did Team Singularity Ninjas, and they're looking to build their way back. Vivi's Adventure, I've got to say, have been looking just to the eye like they are a special team. They don't have as much flexibility as Team Singularity Ninjas, but their triple DPS is really good. And they've certainly been having excellent competitive games against some of the top teams. So it depends very heavily, I think, on whether Team Singularity Ninjas can shut that down.
Yeah, we saw one of the keys to really trying to shut down Vivi's Adventure here. They're going to be starting off on the attacking side. Is that... Oh, no, wait. Yeah, Vivi's Adventure starting off on the attacking side. Lolsish has been having some difficulty on this Winston playing this dive composition, but on the side of Singularity Ninjas, there's no Orb of Discord. There's not going to be a Zenyatta yet to try and really deal with him, so he might have some free reign. It's going to really come down to Danny on this Roadhog, try and shut that down.
Look at this team.
Yeah, this Lolsish has definitely been a point of weakness for this team, an exploitable point for the teams they're playing against. He seems to die very quickly, perhaps overextend with a lot of his pushes. Obviously a difficult job that he's got going on, because most of the time he's playing solo tank in these compositions. Interesting to know that we've got Crytox in instead of Lelouch. Again, a different player over from Team Singularity Ninjas. Not sure what's going on there, but slight changes for them.
Alright, Elivote is going to go ahead and run back to his spawn. He's not going to be using that Bastion, unfortunately. He's swapping over to that Soldier 76 for that third DPS slot on the side of Vivi's Adventure here, as the payload has made its way across the bend and nothing really going on quite yet. Lolsish did jump on up, got some free damage off, as we did have Henzu jumping into the back line. He's already at 42% towards his Dragon Blade. It's going to be Apex. Gets the kill onto Monday. We did not get to see that. Now they are smelling blood in the water. They're on to this Reinhardt nerf. Almost about to get nerfed there, but Dane with a great hook takes out Mumwadi.
The fact that they got the kill immediately there onto Mundatrod's means that this card has just not stopped at any point. They want to keep their position up top, but they have to drop down and contest at some point, and they have done now. Zekro gets hooked as well, Danny with the pick, and Henzo's got his Dragon Blade up. Nana Boost on the other side as well, but at this point, looks like the defense has finally established some kind of control, despite the fact that the payload has actually moved a fairly long way, Jameson.
Oh, great sleep dart coming up from Lin there. We just saw that. They were able to follow up the damage with Henzu, taking him out. And so now they are going to go ahead and put a stop to this offense for now. But a lot of great tools in the pocket on the side of Vivi's Adventure here. They've got the Nano Visor, and they can use it in conjunction, or excuse me, not the Nano Visor, just the Tactical Visor, but they can use it in conjunction with Henzu. If he goes ahead and just jumps up with that blade, it'll allow Elivote that space just to get free damage off. And we've got that Tactical Visor coming out. He did have to drop low. It's going to be Mumwadi that actually gets the first kill. Henzu, nothing quite yet coming of that blade, but man, shut down on the side of Vivi's Adventure, so they're gonna have to back off as Crytox picked up 2 kills there at the end.
Henzu went into the back lines with Lolsish, whipped out his Dragon Blade, looked like he was going to get a decent amount of work done with it, picked up nerfed immediately, but because there was that Nano Visor on the other side coming out of Crytox, he couldn't engage, he couldn't get anywhere near him, because otherwise his health would just get ripped to pieces. So now they have to reset again. Nano Boost, Tactical Visor, Primal Rage. Those are the ultimates that they have to work with on the attacking team.
Lolsish does jump on in, and they're already going to pick 2 kills on the side of Vivi's Adventure. Elivote with that Tactical Visor, that's going to be his third in this team fight, and now he's on to this Reinhardt nerf. He's at about 10 HP. He will get cleaned up there, and a pretty one-sided team fight coming out there. That should allow Vivi's Adventure to get this checkpoint. Now we'll see if they actually go for a more offensive push here, but instead it looks like they're just going to go ahead and keep everyone on the payload for now.
Krytox moves over to Genji here, rather than the Soldier 76 that he was playing on. So now they've got a bit more of a type comp. He immediately takes down Henzi with the help of Mandatronzer, and it looks like they're going in to try and contest this immediately. Straight out the door, Lulsish gets a hook, Primal Rage immediately put to sleep.
Yeah, and it's all been down to Montrose here. Great charge coming out. He will not be able to make it out. Lulsish is going to fall there. But Montrose was putting in work. We saw Zakor actually running into a pulse bomb there. So now the payload finally making it through the checkpoint. The gates should be closing soon. 3 minutes left on the clock on the side of Vivi's Adventure for their push.
Lots of ultimates for them to work with. Potential for them to kill these aggressive players. Nerf takes a pulse bomb, trying to get healed up by Olympia, as he also takes the nano boost, but put to sleep, knocked on the floor, bionic grenade. All of these abilities serving to take him out. As in the back line as well, Henzu with the Dragon Blade takes down a load of them with help from Mobwati. So this payload continues to rumble forwards.
Yeah, they do have that Earth Shatter to use on the side of Singularity Ninjas here. The payload still has a good distance to make it here. It is turning that bend, but once again, Nerf has that Earth Shatter. There's no real counter to it. The barrier is down on the side of on the side of Vivi's Adventure, and there's nothing to actually try and stop it, so they're just going to go ahead and back away. They have to be careful here, as Zakor is playing very aggressively on the point. We've got the Dragon Blade coming out from Krytox right now. He gets that kill onto Elivo's Moonbody, answers in kind with that pulse bomb, but Krytox dash resets, will finish off Henzu, and now great charge coming in. It actually got broken there, line of sight by that payload, it looks like, but still no problem. They will be able to clean up Zakor.
Vivi's Adventure not being able to push it on that particular fight, and they weren't really able to force that many ultimates out either. It was only the Dragon Blade that came out of Krytox for the defense, and Team Singularity Ninja still in a reasonably good position to hold here. They're going to have their nano boost up, ultimates across the board. They also have the sound barrier if they're under any kind of damage from the tactical visor coming out, so this should be another successful defensive hold.
Yeah, here we go. Tactical visor coming on out. They're not going to commit that nano boost onto it. Elivo just using it. There we go. He's actually receiving it a little late, and that's going to be the sound barrier coming out on the side of Singularity, and then just keeping them in this fight for now. Nerf still holding on to this Earth Shatter. Lulsish with that Primal Rage gets the kill onto Lin. He even backs Nerf off. Nerf tries to go for that charge, but he won't be able to connect it, and still the Primal Rage doing a great job on the side of Vivi's Adventure, backing them all away, and now the payload making great time here. There's a minute left, but they're only pushing with 2 people on there. Danny with a great hook onto Mumwadi is going to open up a real opportunity for the side of Singularity Ninjas, but it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade here. Now Whole Hog coming out from Danny as he pushes forward. He's going to force back that Winston, but he does get put to sleep. Lulsish dropped really low. It's going to be Montrosser that finishes off that last kill.
Here comes the sound barrier as well, as the rest of Vivi's Adventure try and maximize on the opportunity they've been given. Krytox was a very early death in that last fight, and now he's being focused down again. Reflect out, but surely going to get picked up. Here comes an Earth Shatter. Man!
That was, in all intents and purposes, huge there, as Zakor tried to go for that back cap, brought it in pretty close, 1.48 meters away, but man, Nerf with a huge hero plays on that Reinhardt. He's been holding on to that Reinhardt Shatter for about 3 or 4 minutes now. Last few seconds here, no one's going to be able to get onto the point. Donnie gets hooked in, and Singularity Ninjas will go ahead and put a stop to Vivi's Adventure just 2 meters away from the end there.
That's really quite surprising as well, because they had their ultimates up, but they looked very sloppy in their execution with it, Team Singularity Ninjas. When they're on the defense there, they looked like they were just managing to scramble and still hold on control of it. One well-executed push from Vivi's Adventure and focusing down the right targets, for example, Danny, who pretty much stayed alive the entire time, probably would have been able to get them over the line there and grant them some extra time and extra space. But Team Singularity Ninjas, they hold on. Use of the ultimates, ult economy, still pretty good, even if their execution was a little sloppy. And now they've got a very reasonable win condition. It's not too difficult to get to the second checkpoint on Route 66.
Not at all, not at all. But there were just some great delay tactics coming out on the side of Singularity Ninjas. Once they had actually allowed that payload to make it to the first checkpoint, Montrosser was doing a great job of just delaying them with that tracer. So he's already hovering over it, and it looks like they are going to go for that dive composition. Lind is going to be on the Zenyatta there. just to throw out the orbs. On the side of Vivi's Adventure, though, they're going for this really tanky lineup. Lolsish switching on over from the Winston. He's going to be on the Reinhardt now. Elivote not opting for that 76. He's going to be picking up the Diva. It's going to be Mumwadi this time. That's going to be on that 76. And then Henzu, of course, rounding at that triple tank composition with that Roadhog.
I think this is a really smart decision from both teams. Because of where the card ended and the fact that Vivi's Adventure have to hold in the second stage, they need these tanks up. It's very difficult to hold in the second stage. You could delay for a long time if you're running the triple DPS, but you can't really full hold on either point. Big potential too if they've got the tanks up. And this has got to be one of the first times we've seen Vivi's Adventure running the tanks, so I'm interested to see whether they've actually got the individual hero pulls and the coordination to be able to pull this composition off.
Yep, so triple tank dive composition coming out from Singularity Ninjas as they do get out of the gate here. It's going to be Donnie on the 76, and oh, Lind coming in. Orb of Destruction lands onto Mumwadi, takes him out, and now the defense might fall apart, but Henzu trying to keep this alive, is able to answer him back in kind, but now he's going to get focused down. He's got that Orb of Discord on him. They'll be able to go ahead and whittle him down. Crytox is going to go ahead and deflect a lot of those Reinhardt hammer swings as we do have the Sleep Dart coming in, but Crytox once again coming in, was able to land that melee onto Apex, and he's just killing everybody on the side of Vivi's Adventure.
Picking them all up. There's only the 2 tanks left, and all of this pressure on the Lolsish's shield, meaning that he has to back way further off. The cart's made reasonable progression, and Lint's done a lot of damage and healing as well. Crytox with another kill.
Oh man, almost no opposition on this payload at all. They're going to be able to push it in. It looks like they are going to try and come in for the contest, but already Mumwadi has fallen to the deflect of Crytox. Crytox is going to get anti-healed, but he's still alive for now. Finally gets cleaned up. Nerf switching on over. He is trying to focus down Henzu here. Henzu does have that orb on him once again. It's going to be an easy cleanup. Even the Nano getting committed, but Lolsish slowly getting whittled on down. Here's the final remaining member. He will go down to Mondetras's Tracer. And with almost no contest whatsoever, Singularity Ninjas pushing it in with 5 minutes remaining on their clock.
5 minutes remaining is going to be very difficult for them, especially because they use that nano boost. The Tracer Mandy is already harassing them as well, and they're finding it difficult to even come out into the streets phase. So Vivi's Adventure under a lot of pressure right now, and they don't really have the ultimates apart from the Earth Shatter to be able to make this fight go their way. They have to hit something beefy here, or be able to generate the rest, but there's already Dragon Blade in the back line from Crytox, Jameson.
Yeah, they tried to peel as best they could. Henzu, unfortunately, was not able to land that hook onto him. And Elivote, unfortunately, sorry, your defense matrix doesn't do much against the blade. Earthshatter did come out from Lolsich, though. Here comes the self-destruct. It will connect onto Crytox, and finally Vivi's Adventure putting a stop to this offense.
That's actually a very crucial pick, the self-defense, destruct kill onto Crytox, because that delays him for a long time, allows their spawners to get in, but Mumwadi's going to get 1v1, more like 1v3 actually, but Lint takes the finishing kill, and look at all of these ultimates here for Team Singularity Ninjas. It's going to be a monster of a push that they're going to attempt to stop. Zekor at 83%. Will he even get his sound barrier in time to stop all of these ultimates having impact?
Danny having a little bit of difficulty trying to get that Helix Rocket jump onto the high ground there, but it's okay. They've got so many ultimates to work with. Now we do have the Tactical Visor coming out from Mumwadi. He doesn't have the Nano to go in conjunction with the Elivote already getting that kill onto Donnie, but now it's going to be a 2-for-2 trade here as the sound barrier does come out from Zekor here. Lolsish trying his best to keep on the payload here. Make sure it doesn't make any more distance because already it is just about 10 meters out. We do have the Transcendence getting popped on the side of Singularity Ninjas. Now they have to be careful. They're trying to stay on this payload, make sure it doesn't make any more progress, but Mumwadi from up top starting to get healed up now from that. But Crytox comes in, he's got that Dragon Blade once more, immediately takes out Mumwadi, but Henzu will answer in kind, takes him out, puts a stop to this offense.
I think they overcommitted to that, Team Singularity Ninjas. As soon as the sound barrier comes out from Zekor and you know that you haven't been able to win the fight conclusively, because Lolsish and Elivote are still alive on the tanks, very difficult to deal with them. They're going to be able to buy time for their spawners to come in. You're playing at a big spawn disadvantage anyway, so I think they should have kept both of those ultimates up, the Dragon Blade and the Transcendence. Now, it's actually very reasonable for them to hold this next push.
You're powered up. Get in
Alright,
there.
we do have the tactical visor. No, excuse me, not the tactical visor, but the nano boost coming out onto Mumwadi, and he's pushing forward, but it's Henzu that gets that first kill. Primal Rage coming out from Nerf. He's gonna go ahead and shut down 2 players on the side of Vivi's Adventure. Now he's on the hunt for more. A-Fox getting jumped on. He's getting battered around. He will be able to commit that final kill. Nerf sitting on 1 HP, actually staying alive. Oh no! Henzu missed that melee, but he was able to finally complete that kill. Elivo dropping a little bit low, though, keeping it alive with that self-destruct kill.
The mech call kill onto Krytox as he falls down. That's unusual. You don't often see that. That could potentially clutch it as well. Oh, Mumwadi takes a pulse bomb to the face. And Zekor still has this sound barrier. If they need it, he can keep all of their team alive. Lint with the Transcendence should be up for the next fight. Minute and a half. They've burnt off so much time here. This has actually been a really good defense so far from Vivi's Adventure. Lots of clutches. But they're in still a bit of a sticky situation. Got to get a lot of use out of this tactical visor as both teams have it up.
You have Danny trying to get into position. He's going to go ahead and use it. And Mumwadi, though, has the backup of that sound barrier. And Elivo jumping right on top of Danny. That's going to allow them to get 2 kills there. Now they're going to force the offense back. 1 minute and 10 seconds. That's all Singularity Ninjas have. They've been so close to the finish line here. But with that win condition, Vivi's Adventure, they know they have to hold there. So they've been pulling out all the stops so far.
This is going to be difficult for them. They have a sound barrier on attack and a Dragon Blade. If they can focus down individual targets, if they can get onto Mumwati or maybe even A-Fox before he can use the nano boost, that would be huge. But there's an Earth Shatter coming out from Lulsish as well, and his have been reasonable so far. He's actually found pretty good efficacy. Krytox in, sound barrier onto his Dragon Blade as well. Mumwati gets the nano boost onto him, but doesn't have a tactical visor. Krytox gets a pick as Lulsish uses the Earth Shatter on the floor and fights the kills trading either side, but it looks like Team Singularity Ninjas getting the better end of it. This spawn wave might still be able to come in, but it looks like they might have done it.
Yeah, Krytox off the back of that Dragon Blade, putting in immense work, and now he's just going to try and stop Zekor. Here comes in, Orb of Discord to the face. Now they will be able to complete it out. That's going to be Singularity Ninjas taking the first map here in this lower bracket match.
2-1.
So close. Vivi's Adventure, they look like they had all of the pieces together, but crumbled in the final moment. It was a difficult situation they had set up for themselves by failing to take the second checkpoint on attack, but they almost lived up to the challenge. Not quite though, and it is inches that make the matches happen.
Yeah, Vivi's Adventure just really trying their hardest there. Fortunately, they were so close to getting that checkpoint too on their offense, but yeah, great defense coming out. And despite Elivo landing some crucial self-destructs there, it just was not enough on the side of Vivi's Adventure. So now we'll be moving on to map number 2. We're gonna have to wait on Vivi's Adventure's choice here. Where do you think they're gonna take it for our second map?
They looked really good so far when they were playing on Nepal. So I think they'll probably go. He's literally just wrote it in chat,
Prophet.
Nepal. Yeah.
The Prophet.
There you go. They did look excellent though, to be honest, when they were playing against, who was it, Movistar Riders in the first round of the upper bracket. They looked incredible when they were on Nepal. I think that was the map that they actually ended up taking, and they had good showings against Misfits as well when they played on Nepal. So this is a good map for them. And the Danish team, Team Singularity Ninjas, they're good on control, but it's not a specialist matchup for them. So I think Vivi's Adventure probably going to be favored overall here.
All right, so yeah, we are already loading into the map. I just got to go ahead and update the overlay real quickly, and then I'll be able to swap on over. But already, not to spoil it, but I think we're going to get the triple DPS dive composition coming out once again.
Yeah, definitely. I think from both teams as well. And something that was interesting was that Vivi's Adventure actually looked decent when they were running a more tanky composition on the defensive Route 66. So this isn't just a one-trick team, it seems. They have some level of coordination. Lulsish actually seemed, personally, to be better when he was on the Reinhardt than when he's on the Winston. Does happen with quite a number of tanks. Perhaps he's just been forced onto it because of the current meta and what the rest of his team want to play. But there's a point of weakness that I think Team Singularity Ninja should really be focusing on, because Lulsish has looked shaky whenever he's been going in for these dives against the top teams. They tend to punish it, but will Team Singularity Ninjas have the ability to be able to punish it? We'll see.
I mean, Lind has been doing a fantastic job on this Zenyatta, and so I wholeheartedly believe that Lulstich is going to have a very difficult game here on Nepal, but still, Henzu and Mumwadi, they've been fantastic on the Genji and Tracer, and we'll see if they can, make up for that. It's not like Lulstich is doing a bad job, he's just getting focused every single time he tries to jump in, and like you had mentioned before, it's a difficult job playing that solo tank role.
Absolutely, but this time it's going to be nerf picked immediately. The Zen battle goes in favor of Lint, though. That gives the heals in favor of Team Singularity as they're trying to hold on, but Henzu with these strikes getting the better end of it, and they're playing more together. They've got a bit better position around this elephant statue, although the beginnings are going towards Team Singularity Ninjas. As the spawners come in, it should be Vivi's Adventure who get the better end of this fight, I think.
There we go, Lulstich coming on in, gets the kill onto Danny with the help of Henzu. He got a lot of those dash resets. Now they're on the hunt for Krytox. They will complete that kill, and the point will go over to Vivi's Adventure first.
And look at all of the ultimate charge here for Henzu and Mumwati in particular. Almost already charged at ultimates, and we're only on 9% of the cap, so huge amount of damage being put out in that first fight.
Alright, Henzu just looking for his opening here. There are a few members on the high ground. Henzu is going to go ahead and commit that Dragon Blade. He's right on top of that 76, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. And unfortunately, Henzu was not in the greatest position to follow up with more kills. There we go, with the reset. He's going to be able to pick up 2, but Krytox in the back has been putting in work on the side of Singularity Ninjas.
And they managed to retake the point. None of them have got their ults up just yet, but overall, this is looking like a pretty back and forth game. Both of these teams with a good idea of how to play the triple DPS and how to play against triple DPS as well. It has been a very prevalent composition within Europe for a while now.
Alright, Elivote on the side of Vivi's Adventure, working closer and closer towards that tactical visor. No nanos on either side because there are no Annas on either side as Lulstich jumps in, but immediately Orb of Discord, Daddy's going to be able to take that kill as Nerf finds a second one. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade now, and he's got that Primal Rage over there. It's going to be Mondetrosser actually cleaning up for the majority there. Now Henzu, the final member onto the point with the last melee. Danny will be able to complete that kill. And now 40% and ticking up for Singularity Ninjas.
They take the lead for the first time in this map at least. And when Vivi's Adventure were in control of this point, this stage can be difficult to retake because you have the high ground, but their ultimates were fairly poor. They didn't get much value out of it. So Team Singularity Ninjas got the opportunity to hold on and keep this sticking up if they can get value out of their ults.
Right, Tactical Visor does come out from both sides, but Singularity Ninjas, they're going to go ahead and take that first loss as they are starting to get cleaned up here. Mumwadi coming in, now Henzu coming alive. Krytox trying to keep it contested, but unfortunately he does go down to Lulstich there, and so they'll be able to swap it over in favor of Vivi's Adventure, but 75% on the board for the Ninjas.
A lot of that came down to the soldier fight right at the beginning with their ultimates and who got the better end of it, because then you've got way more damage for the rest of the fight and sustainability. You know, that you play a little bit of the off-healer role as well if you can get that down. Mandis coming in though, and he gets the stick onto a fox. That's going to force out the Transcendence in kind of an unnecessary position, but he definitely didn't want to go down because that would have been disastrous for his team. He goes down anyway as Lint gets knocked off the field. They both trade with each other.
Yeah, we do have the sound barrier getting used on the side of the Ninjas as they do come in. Now the Dragon Blade is going to come out from Henzu, and this time he looks like he's in a better prime position. Try and get these resets. That's going to be his second kill, as they were able to help him complete the kill onto Kelix earlier on. And right now, Vivi's Adventure nerfed does get that kill, but it doesn't quite matter as the team fight was already over.
80%, and they look like they're going forward, seeing if they can get stagger kills. Lint's already died. They've got the Dragon Blade up, but that kill onto Lint denies them the Transcendence for a little bit longer as well, and they only have about another 20 seconds to get back in, including whatever dregs of overtime the first players managed to get. Ultimate's starting to take up. Sound Barrier and Tactical Visor might be ready in this fight for the Vivi's Adventure team here, but a Dragon Blade already in from Krytox.
Yeah, unfortunately, Krytox did not connect with a lot of those slashes there, but 2 kills already going on over. Elivo pushes forward. He's got that Tactical Visor. He's on the hunt for that Lucio, but they were playing Ring Around the Rosie there. He wasn't able to complete it, but already the man advantage as Mumwadi is starting to clean up on the side of Vivi's Adventure here.
99% overtime. Nobody really in position. Mandidrosa tries to get on the point, but that's not going to be enough. And it's the team who managed to get the first cap who ended up walking away with it on Shrine. It's Vivi's Adventure 1-0 up.
Alright, and so we are going to Sanctum for this next point, and now we are already seeing the swap-offs coming out from both sides. They're going for tankier composition, as we do see most teams play here. That triple tank comp, it looks like it is going to be mirrored on both sides. So expect a lot of trading to happen over on the ledge. And we're going to be looking to Henzu and Danny in particular on these Roadhogs. See if they can get any of those environmental kills, but hey, might also just come down to crucial charges from Nerfed or Lulsish.
Yeah, that Reinhardt battle is definitely going to be a key one to keep your eye on as we start into the Sanctum. Pretty interesting that both teams are going for the same comp here as well. The Zarya, pretty necessary to keep your Reinhardt in position and can do a huge amount of damage if you get that energy charge going.
Oh, hook comes on out, but there's a projected barrier. Danny drops low. They're not able to connect onto that kill, and it's gonna be actually on the side of Singularity Ninjas, already opening it up with 2 frags here. Now Krytox on the point. Henzo unfortunately was not able to get that hook. Danny's the one that's gonna be able to get it, and they're gonna be able to win a team fight pretty handily here on the side of the Ninjas.
2 environmental kills as Lulsish gets bumped off by a projectile rather from the Zarya of Mandy. And then Henzu gets hooked off as well, so very difficult to come back when 2 of your large tanks have just been dropped into the pit. But Speed Boost comes out along with a Biotic Grenade, and they're going to be attempted to take this one. No one's quite up yet apart from the Nano Boost.
Ooh, Hook 2.0 saving Krytox here. We've got that Graviton Surge coming on out, but it's going to be Montrosser picking up 2 kills now. Singularity Ninjas really holding on to this point as Elivote should go down very shortly. And so 30% on the board already, and all they had to do is commit that Graviton Surge into it. Now on the side of Vivi's Adventure, they've got 3 ultimates. They don't have any support ultimates to work with, as Calyx is going to have that sound barrier for this next fight, if he can just delay a little bit.
Absolutely. They're going to have to land a pretty good Earth Shatter as well. Sorry, Earth Shatter. The Graviton Surge is is the word that I'm looking for. Up on this right-hand side, here it comes out. See if they can get a charge through it. The debuff comes out as well, and all of these players incredibly weak. The Tactical Visor, though, the Nano Visor from Krytox, as he chooses the perfect time to flank and picks up 2 of them. Both supports go down from Vivi's Adventure. Mugwadi now dueling with him. Got the Biotic Field, but has to plunge to his death. Do a bit of base jumping in the middle of this, and look for the Misty Abyss.
Singularity Ninjas are in great shape for these final team fights. They've got that Earth Shatter that Nerf's been sitting on for quite a bit. Danny even has that disengage whole hog that he can use, but he can also combo it with this Graviton Surge that Manda has worked up once again. And now Vivi's Adventure really up against it. They're trying to rush on in, but Losish lands a great Earth Shatter there, but the sound barrier coming out on the side of Singularity Ninjas will keep them back into this fight. Mumbadi tries to use that Tactical Visor. Unfortunately, it just goes straight into the shield. 2 kills going on in favor of Singularity Ninjas, but we do have someone on the point right now. It is getting contested. High energy Mondetrosser trying to get this last support here, but Donnie with the hook in gets the kill onto Henzu, and it's going to be Singularity Ninjas tying it up here on Nepal.
That whole time they weren't able to flip the point, and Mandetrosser playing the Zarya impeccably. He was at high charge for so much of that Sanctum stage, and allows his team to get back into it. Quick 1-1 reply, 100-0. That's exactly what you need to get yourself back in the game on the ball.
Alright, so now we are moving on to Village, the 3rd point here on Nepal. And once again, we're seeing the swap-offs. It's actually coming just on the side of Vivi's Adventure so far. No, never mind. Both teams going for that die composition. This time, though, Donnie not favoring that Soldier 76. He's going to be picking up the Roadhog instead, which he did look good on Sanctum there. And it can actually work out. Never mind. He swaps off. Why do I even try?
They're just trolling you, Jameson. Mirrored compositions. Oh no, not mirrored. It's actually a Fox on the Zen, and Lind playing the Ana, so slightly more dive ability over onto Lind. Oh, but Henzu with the first death. That's a large amount of damage taken out of the field as Krytox just uses that snowball, the dash reset to take down Elivote as well. And Vivi's Adventure in a really difficult position after losing their Genji so early on there.
Yeah, Krytox really does come alive once he starts getting those resets there. And once again, a huge boon for their attacking end. Now, they will be able to take the point first here, but The ultimate's not looking too bad. We saw on Sanctum, it really did snowball in favor of Singularity Ninjas, but it's largely even here, except for that Genji matchup. Now we do have the dive coming out. Losish has jumped on top of them. He's going to be able to get that kill onto Lind. Now he's still trying to find this Soldier 76. Pops the Primal Rage, is able to get that kill onto Kelix's Danny. Looks like it was a Helix Rocket that he used to finish himself off. They're going to be able to clean up and flip this point right back on over for Vivi's Adventure. Only 25% on the board for the Ninjas.
That's a really slick recap for Vivi's Adventure. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, executed it to perfection, and they're not able to keep control despite having the high ground. We'll see if Vivi's Adventure can keep control, because that's what King of the Hill is all about. They are the current Kings of the Hill, and they want to keep their throne.
Got that Dragon Blade. Crytox is right on top of Elivote. He gets booped away. Elivote landing a great helix, but he does get cleaned up here. Montrosser with that pulse bomb is able to complete that kill onto Lulsish, but now the man advantage in favor of Singularity Ninjas, especially after getting the kills onto Henzu Mumwadi there. Now they are onto the point, trying to just get this Lucio out of the way, and just like that, the point's gonna get flipped once again for the Ninjas.
Such a back and forth game so far, and especially this particular stage has been taken and then retaken multiple times just based off, it seems, the first kill or who's getting the slightly better end of that initial burst of impact as soon as they get through the choke point. A lot of ultimates on board now though. Who's going to initiate first?
It's going to be Henzu with that Dragon Blade, but answered in kind on the other side. It is going to be the Sound Barrier coming out, keeping them alive. Henzu not able to do anything with it. He will get cleaned up. That's going to be nerfed. Answering with 2 kills, and they're gonna finally put a shutdown. It was getting flipped back and forth each fight, but now it looks like someone has found a defense so far. But this next team fight looking really good in favor of Vivi's Adventure.
Yeah, they've got the ultimates to come back into it for sure, but 70% plays against 40% at the moment. Tactical Visor used at the same time as the Transcendence. They're into a Primal Rage though, and he's finding it difficult here, Elivote, to actually get much value out of his ultimate, as Nerf just eats it all up.
Monday doing a really good job of delaying for as long as he could, actually getting the kill onto Lulsish. We saw the play around the health pack, but it does get flipped once again as Elivote finds that last kill onto Monday. And 82% on the board for Singularity Ninjas. They're essentially 1 team fight away, possibly 2, from being able to secure this out, but the ultimate advantage right now in favor of Vivi's Adventure. They've got that Sound Barrier to work with for this next engagement, and Crytox is gonna have to be the hero along with Mondetrosser on the side of Singularity Ninjas.
How do you play a Dragon Blade into the Sound Barrier though? It seems almost impossible if Zeko is able to actually pop it off. The Dragon Blade is used. Zeko hasn't used it just yet, but Crytox goes down. 1v1 by a Fox.
That's one Sly Fox indeed, getting the better of that exchange. They're gonna go ahead and force them back. Already, Lulsish did have to commit his Primal Rage into that last one, which is something you want to stick on, hold on to for a little bit longer when it comes down to that 99% there, but they do still have that Sound Barrier. Nothing really in favor on the side of Singularity Ninjas other than that Tactical Visor. The damage boost might give Danny that opportunity to get the visor up though.
Kelix the first death. They've used the Sound Barrier. And here comes the Nano Boost onto Danny, as you were saying. See if he can build it up. 98%, 99, just attempting to get his Tactical Visor, but he's going to fall to Elivotes before he can even get in position. And the 2-1 lead for Vivi's Adventure here on their map pick. And that one was back and forth, but it looked like they had a plan the whole time for how to close it out.
All right, so let's see where we go. We're going back to Sanctum, so both teams already making their swap-offs. Once again, we're going with that triple tank setup. Curling Moonwadi hasn't swapped off. He's going to pick up the Soldier 76. So once again, mirrored compositions. No one going for Zenyatta on this one. And the last time, I believe it was Singularity Ninjas who just had a great ultimate rotation with the Earth Shatter and Graviton Surges just to be able to complete this map out. I believe cleanly 100-0.
Yeah, they absolutely blasted it last time, and that's why I'm thinking it's a little strange that Vivi's Adventure would run with the exact same composition. Not even try a Zen or something like that, where a Fox has been pretty good with that particular hero, and try and win the shield battle at the beginning. However, last time they did get 2 immediate environmental kills, and that's how they ended up losing the first fight. The snowball developed from there, so if they can avoid that, they might be in a better position, Jason.
And for the most part, it looks like the Ninjas winning the shield battle, as Lolsish does have to put his down to recharge. Both teams are going to go ahead and recharge it. Enzu getting those right clicks off, dishing out so much damage onto it. And it's going to be Vivi's Adventure actually making the transition onto the point, forcing them on over here. Hook comes out, but it's the boop coming out from Kelix that gets the first kill onto Henzu. And now history repeating itself for the Ninjas, as they've already gotten 3 kills, and now they're just cleaning up the rest of Vivi's Adventure.
Yeah. They have such good synergy and coordination. As soon as they get that initial pick, you know, the poke damage, they try and find that initial fight. They're very aware of all the possibility for environmental kills. Knock Henzu straight into the pit. And then from there, they're able to snowball it in. And again, Mande playing a great round so far on the Zarya.
Yeah, Krytox once again in the same play. They did this last time where when they tried to come in for that retake, Krytox came in with that flanking tactical visor. He's got the nano this time. Mumwadi dropping low, but already 2 kills going off in favor of Vivi's Adventure. That's the 3rd one as Apox is able to complete that kill onto Kelix. Unfortunately, they just did not get the timing right this time on the side of the Ninjas, and now Krytox has to be careful facing off against Henzu here. Tries to stay alive. He's just getting free damage off, and even though he had just used that visor, he's already at 50% towards it. 60 now. He's just farming up that ultimate onto Henzu.
So many ultimates up here from Vivi's Adventure, and as you said, that flank was what they'd put all of their hopes onto, but Krytox not able to deliver this time. Vivi's Adventure, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on somebody. That's the old Texan saying.
Great job, George Bush. But now we're moving forward. We do have that Earthshatter coming out. Lind with that biotic nade finds the kill onto Henzu, and Lolsish immediately putting a shutdown to Vivi's Adventure. They'll only get 31% on the board before the Ninjas flip it back on over. I'm trying to actually remember the exact quote from George Bush there.
It ended with, fool me 3 times, you can't fool me 3 times.
You can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Yeah.
It was something brilliant like that. He was an absolute wordsmith, that man, wasn't he?
To his credit, though, better than Trump. But yeah, as
Possibly.
once again, teams facing off, we do have the tactical visor coming out. Mumwadi with the opening frag. He's got that nano, but a great graviton surge followed up by that whole hog. It's the meat grinder coming out for Singularity Ninjas there. They're going to be able to clean up 70% now, and they're looking in great shape. Nerf working his way up towards that Earth Shatter so they can just buy him 20 more seconds there. They'll be in a really great shape for this hold.
And the big difference between these two teams on Sanctum is that whenever Team Singularity Ninjas are in control of the point, their ultimate rotation is really good. And when Vivi's Adventure had the opportunity to hold on, they couldn't do it. Sambar is trading for both sides. Krytox with the nano boost. He's hooked, put to sleep, Earth-Shattered. Lolsish trying to get it, but a counter Earth-Shatter coming out from Nerfed as well. And again, they're coordinating their ultimates so well, completely outplaying Vivi's Adventure in this tank meta on Sanctum.
Now, both of these teams in a trough. There are no ultimates whatsoever on either side, but Donnie is working himself closer and closer to that whole hog, and it's a Roadhog. He's going to build it up real quickly. 96, 97% on the board. No one's going to be able to get in as they are zoning. Actually, Mumwadi almost able to touch it, but it really didn't matter as Donnie was going to be able to play gatekeeper there with that whole hog.
So, 2-2. Both of the rounds, though, that Team Singularity Ninjas have won have been on Sanctum, and we're definitely not going back there again, barring some kind of incredibly strange bug. So, Nepal, we're going to be returning to Village. Now, this one was very backwards and forwards, but when it came to the crunch time at the end, Vivi's Adventure had the better plan for being able to hold control of the point. So, let's see if they can repeat the same kind of thing. I imagine we'll be going back to triple DPS, but for the moment, they haven't switched.
So now we're on to match point here. Singularity Ninjas, if they are able to eke this out and reverse their fortunes on this particular point, they'll be able to move on to our winners final up against, I've actually already forgotten.
Against Misfits.
Against Misfits, there it is. Okay. So now, early damage coming out on the side of Vivi's Adventure there, but it's going to be Donnie that gets the first kill onto Lolsish. Charge comes on now. They're going to be able to reconnect onto that. Now Henzu does try to answer in kind, but Elivot having a difficult time trying to get through this barrier so far. He eats a fire strike to the face, and Donnie once again on this Roadhog, doing so much work for the Ninjas.
Yeah, they've completely changed their strategy on Village. They're now going for this 2-2-2 kind of composition where they're going to be playing on the higher ground, trying to really control it and have Krytox as their sole distractor and harasser. So I like this composition, this change of pace. They realize that Vivi's Adventure probably a better team on the triple DPS, and they're getting pressured up top. But Mwani really weak. Henzu's going to be the first to fall as well, and they're staying so tight-knit and together, and they're staying, broadly speaking, in control.
Yeah, once again, Krytox, once he starts getting those resets, he is an absolute beast on this Genji. And now 30% already in favor of Singularity Ninjas. They're just 67 away from moving on. Actually, this is the lower bracket. I don't know why I said upper bracket earlier. But yeah, lower bracket, winner be facing off against Misfits. And so, Singularity Ninjas getting closer and closer.
Here comes the Nano Boost out and the Transcendence to reply to it as Mandatrosa sees if he can get anything done. Kellex is going to fall though, as Manda did get a pick onto Elivo, who's a Soldier 76 on the other side, with a lot of ultimates coming online. That pick onto Henzu is fairly pivotal because he did have his Dragon Blade up, and again it's going to be Team Singularity Ninjas in control of the team fight. This dive composition has really not been able to pick off individual targets.
This is probably one of the harder compositions to try and actually go into when you've got that Reinhardt along with the peel coming out from Donnie with that Roadhog. And then, of course, you've got all the heals also. If you just stayed Deathballed up with that healing pack. Now, they're going to go for that high ground push once again, but Donnie immediately using that whole hog. We've got the Dragon Blade coming up from Krytox. They're going to be able to clean this up easily on the side of Singularity Ninjas. Now, 90%. 10% away from securing this win. Already GGs are getting called on the side of Vivi's Adventure. They are conceding to
There's no way they're going to be able to get onto the point. 99. Oh, he did trigger overtime. Primal Rage popped out of Lulsish. Eventually gets to the point. That's dragged everybody down, but Danny's already found 2 picks. A Fox as well. Hook blasted to the face, and that finally is the GG as Team Singularity Ninjas are going to win that particular map.
Yeah, finally able to reverse their fortunes on the other maps of Nepal. They were only able to initially win Sanctum, but finally with that swap off, great swap off like you had mentioned, Sideshow. Just playing this more deathball-y style, they were able to close it out here. They'll be moving on in our lower bracket. I believe you said to face off against Misfits.
That's the one. That's how the bracket's going to play out. There's going to be a difficult battle for them, to be honest. But Vivi's Adventure, they put up a valiant effort, but just in the end, they didn't quite perform well enough on the map that they're perhaps favored on Nepal, and their Route 66 attack left a little to be desired. In terms of how they were playing against that composition, though, they realized at the end that they needed the Ana, I think. Fox was playing Zen the whole time into a Roadhog and a Soldier 76, and when you're trying to find individual picks in a triple DPS, you need the Biotic Grenade to be able to take both of those out, or even the Genji, who's going to be getting healed up by the Ana the whole time. So Biotic Grenade was absolutely important, crucial, I think, to their team composition, and they were playing with the Zen the whole time, not quite able to get in there, end up dropping out. But that's going to set up an interesting bracket. The open qualifier champions unfortunately eliminated, but Team Singularity Ninjas, who didn't even make it through the open qualifier in the end, progress. That's just how life works, Jameson.
Yeah, so congratulations to Singularity Ninjas. They'll be facing off tomorrow up against Misfits, but our final match of the day, it's going to be Team Dignitas facing off against Laser Kittens. The winner of this will be moving on to face off against NIP. The loser just gonna go home here. We're going to be taking a short break. Once again, this is the Overwatch PIT Championships lower bracket in the European play. Don't go anywhere, guys. We will be back after a short break.